Hello, welcome. Um, Thanks for being here. I've been wanting to tell this story for a long time. Um, it's the story of my alcoholism and drug addiction. It's the story of the album that I'm releasing 6 weeks from today called Falling Apart. And it is the story of why I've been wanting to tell this story. Why I feel so compelled to tell the story. So I wrote these songs that appear on this album on my way down to the bottom. And I stayed there for a few years. And what I'd like to do is sort of take you through it chronologically as it appears on the album. And give you a sense of what created this art and what was learned as a result of going to such a dark place and deciding to leave it. So the third track on the album is When You Say Goodbye, and that is the first one that I wrote that appears on the album. I wrote it in August of 2006, a few months after I turned 18. I started writing songs when I was 16. I picked up a guitar about a month after my 16th birthday. I started learning how to play piano at age 9, but I didn't start writing songs until I learned how to play guitar. And a couple things convinced me to do that. The movie School of Rock and the album Elephant by the White Stripes, both of which hit at some point in the year prior to me turning 16. And it sort of presented this notion to me that this was something that was within my reach, that this was a thing that I could do. And at first, I really just looked at it as another medium for telling jokes. When I was 13, I started watching stand-up comedy a lot. And I decided that that's what I wanted to do and be. I was really not socially adept as a child. I have a lot of, I grew up with a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, really very sensitive, and, I got picked on and teased, as I think pretty much everyone does. I think the difference was how I reacted to it, which was very badly. And I sort of decided to give a lot of that back in the form of, I bullied people in the classroom. I tried to make people feel stupid. And then, it sort of became this cycle where I was just feeding the negative thoughts and feelings that I had about my relationship with my peers. I didn't understand that at the time. I didn't know this at the time. I learned this by getting into recovery, by honestly examining, my motives and my resentments and my fears, by taking a real look at the way I lived my life. If I had understood this at the time, I wouldn't be sitting here making this video. I would be off somewhere where all the well-adjusted people are, doing the things that they do. But so anyway, I initially started writing songs as another way of telling jokes, and it took a little while. I think one thing that helped was I started playing music with a couple of my classmates. They invited me to join their band, and I started writing songs about my real feelings. And I started writing songs for girls that I had crushes on. And one of these girls was someone that I worked with over the summer at a pool. I was a lifeguard and she worked in the snack bar, and she broke up with her boyfriend, and I immediately started courting her, I guess, if you could call it that, hanging out with her, and didn't really have a whole lot of respect for the fact that she just got out of a serious relationship. Didn't really have any notion that I was, a rebound, which I think is ultimately the role that I played in that relationship, in that interaction. But I was, this was the summer before my first freshman year at college. There would be a few freshman years at college. So I was going away at the end of the summer, and she was staying where she was, and I was very infatuated, and I was thinking about her all the time, and I was sitting in my home one evening spinning my wheels and decided I had to get out. And so I took a walk. I ended up at the spot where we first kissed, and then I walked back home and I wrote this song. And it was the first time that I wrote something that I thought, this is worth something. This is a good song. I had written a lot of songs in the 2 years prior, and some of them were funny, and some of them were, proficient, and some of them were adequate, and a lot of them were terrible and whiny adolescent crap. And this was the first song that I thought, man, this is catchy. So this is When You Say Goodbye, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope that 6 weeks from now, when it's available to stream, you'll give it a listen to the album version, which has drums and piano and lead guitar and bass, and just a really very good job by Barry McGuire and Tim Ferguson, who recorded this album for me. So I hope you give that a listen when it comes out in 6 weeks. But in the meantime, here's a little taste of what you can expect. I hope you like it. I know our situation is a bit complicated. Sometimes true feelings don't show, but I've got to tell you, honey, I'm not worried about any of that. There's just one thing I've got to know. Are you gonna cry when you say goodbye? Are you gonna cry when you say goodbye? I went out wandering one night. I didn't have a destination in mind, but my feet took me to the spot of our first kiss. Something in me says I've got to get a little bit closer to you. No, I can't keep going on like this. Don't you know I cry when you say goodbye? Yeah, I cry every time you say goodbye. Summers come and summers go, but my love will never cease to grow. Though our hearts may have to endure a long winter slumber, I promise they can't wake together when the sun starts shining. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I especially hope that you enjoyed me trying to sing the guitar solo that I play in that song. And I really hope you'll come back next week for My Own Best Enemy, which is the next song, chronologically speaking, on the album. So thanks so much for being here. Thanks for checking it out. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.